Hey guys, welcome Wednesday. Wednesday in the Word, and we are running a little different ship today. We are not having church tonight. We are actually having an all-church trip to the Iowa Cubs game. So don't come to Glad Tidings tonight. We're going to be out fellowshipping, hanging out. But I wanted to give you a little bit of the parameters of how incredible our God is. You know, as I look back and read through the Old Testament and I see the different gods, they shaped them, they created them, they formed them, as Aaron made the golden calf, all those different, quote, gods that were a part of their life. The psalmist wants you to understand the awesomeness of the God that we serve. And so he writes, "You have searched me, Lord, and you know me." How well does he know you? You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways. You know what's interesting? We are greatly concerned about Big Brother tracking your every move. Do you wear one of those watches? I actually forgot mine, so I don't even know if I'm stressed yet today. Yeah, and they keep track of your every heartbeat, all that stuff. You know what? Long before we had those watches and those phones, God was watching. He says, "You are familiar with all my ways." He's watching. Before a word is on my tongue, you, Lord, know it completely. You hem me in behind and before, and you lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too lofty for me to obtain. God knows. He knows where you're at. He knows when you're going to rise up, when you're going to sit down. He knows all those things about you. In fact, he says, "Where can I go from your spirit?" Have you ever tried to hide from God? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I rise on the wings of dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea. You know, it's interesting because at one point, God said to Jonah, I want you to go to Nineveh, and I want you to tell them about that I'm going to send punishment on them. And Jonah said, "Not going to do it, don't want to do it." And he got in the boat, and he was headed to Tarsus, and he went down in the inside of the boat, and he lay down, and he was taking a nap. He was hiding and running from God. But God knew right where he was at, and he sent a storm to change his direction. So he knows where you're at. He knows where you're at right now, and maybe you're running from God. You have had a call on your life. You have had a God encounter that's moved you in a direction. You said, "Yeah, I'm afraid to go that way." God says, I got you. So he says, "If I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me. Your right hand will hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness will hide me, and the light become night around me, even the darkness will not be dark to you." I'm just saying, at one point when I was running from God, I went to California. I thought, God doesn't live there. He didn't even go there. Turns out he visits there. I don't know if he lives there, but there is no escaping the God who created heaven and earth. And it says, even though the darkness shall not be dark, the night will shine out like day, for darkness is as light to you. And then he says, so we're dealing with right now, but he says, before you were ever born, for you created my innermost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. Before you were born, God knew you. Before you were born, you were still a person. You were a being. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book. You know what's interesting? Before you were born, he knew your first and your last day. He knows your first and last day. He knows all that's going between. That's the God that we serve. For all the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. How precious to me are your thoughts, God. How vast is the sum of them? Were I to count them, they would outnumber the grains of sand. When I awake, I am still with you. And he goes down to the end of the chapter and says, search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. An awesome God who knew you before you were born, who created you, who loves you, who sent his son Jesus to die on the cross for you so that your sins could be forgiven, so that you could spend eternity in heaven. I don't know what God you're serving, but my God is an awesome God, beyond comprehension. So I would invite you to choose to follow this God who's before you, beside you, behind you. He's got you covered, every aspect of your life. So you don't have to worry or fear. So this Wednesday, be in the Word and know an awesome God. Hey, thanks for being a part. We'll see you at the Cubs game.